We gotta kill the kobold. I don't know why this guy's just standing here. We just saved his butt. Bros, what were you doing? What were you doing, buddy? Huh? You can't just chill there. You can't just take candles to the face. That's not how this works. Hello everyone and welcome back to that one playthrough of MMORPG Tycoon 2. We are in our third installment and I'm taking some time here just to... Well, I'm not walking through Ark here. We're following Ark, whoever Ark is. One of our players. And I want to take a second here just to point out I shrunk the size of all of the lights in town here. So a little more appropriate for the size of our town. Our buildings are maybe too tall for our players, but that's... whoa. Don't want to get stuck inside there. I'm going to follow Ark here for a second. I don't know where he's going, but we do want to actively head over to the little camp here I made in front of the kobold territory because, well, I did make some changes over there and we can actually go there faster than Ark can, so we're going to zip on this direction. I changed the size, the scaling of these little fence post things here, so they look a little more appropriate for the size of our rangers here that are guarding the area. Just makes it look a little more appropriate. So that was one thing I did in between recordings. I'm going to try and let the game play out as much as possible so that we continue to see what our cash flow is like, how players are interacting and liking things. But for the time being, we are getting some crowds. So there's a couple things we want to take care of to make sure that certain areas don't get over clustered, primarily being our respawn points here. So if our respawn points get a little too crowded or certain combat areas get too crowded, it's going to make things a little more challenging to deal with. Players are going to get frustrated if they have to die over in the kobolds and then respawn way the heck over here. So we're going to create some more appropriate pathways that allow them to get a little more ease of access into some of these quests. Alright, so one thing I did think about was the aesthetic of the graveyard here that I've been using for the first respawn point. I think I'm going to modify this slightly. I don't think the regular kind of graveyard look here is exactly what I want. Okay, so we're going to change it to the Sylvan. Technically it's called the Sylvan respawn point, so it looks like, I think it's supposed to have more of that elvish thematic, forest thematic to it, but really there's nothing elvish looking about it. It's just Stonehenge surrounded by Stonehenge now. With that being said, I'll probably add some trees because I would like this to feel a little more shaded, kind of the way I did over here for our starting point. But now the thematics in terms of overgrown ruins, our starting point, and overgrown kind of ruiny look for our respawn point to start with, I think fits a little better. I will also add, I think, another one kind of on this side of town, and I'm going to do the coastal respawn point. Let's put it out here so we don't get rid of any of our trees. And then we'll migrate it in this direction. I don't know if this is going to change the ground that it's on. We'll see here. Let's face it this way. Oh, it does. Okay, so it's going to raise it up there, kind of on a cliffside. That's good. Now, these respawn points are kind of relatively close. I might move this one actually deeper into the forest, so it's closer to some of the combat areas here. So that's a potential option. I just wanted something closer to the kobolds. It still feels like there's a little bit of a penalty to have to walk back, but not nearly as bad as having to go all the way through town and deal with the crowds over on that side. We'll go into trees really quick, and I want to create mostly tree locations that will add specific strategic shade to certain parts of this early segment here. We'll go twist them around a little bit, just so we get some additional shade in here. That way, that's better. That's better. There is a sunny patch, I think, still inside here. Yeah, let's cover that up. So if I put a tree there, perfect. And then I think I will actually shift this. So we're going to take the respawn point. Let's move it kind of in this little grove area. And then we'll just move all of these stones back lined up. And then we'll do a little bit of additions to our pathing, just kind of let it twist and turn a little bit around here. That looks good. There we go. Now it feels like the respawn point is kind of in the forest, still separated from our entering area, our starting point for the game. Far enough from town to where it still feels like it's not the graveyard for the town, and the graveyard for the town will now be this one over here, which thematically fits with the rest of the buildings we have. I am under the belief you can't have too many palm trees in your coastal town. We'll just add a couple like that. Add one outside of town here. There we go. Yeah, a little outside of town palm tree on the other side of the fence there. Perfect. Alright, another thing I wanted to do was just double check my kobold stats. We have it set to crowded, so I wanted it to feel like they had to fight multiple kobolds. That's definitely the goal, but I think with that being said, so let's look at this paladin here. He's getting ambushed by two of them. They are ranged, so when they're ranged, they're going to have an advantage. They are pretty weak though, so that was actually fine right there for that paladin, but if that was a wizard, they would have gotten spanked, I think. Oh, he's going for two more here. Let's see how this works out. Got that one dead. So they're dealing 2 damage per candle. He's gonna die now. Yep, okay. So as soon as 3 got in the mix, that was a bit much. Ooh, this guy's got like a giant pickaxe for a weapon. This is a fighter. He's gonna attack. Takes a potion. Okay, he's thinking, fighting, thinking. Yeah, as soon as they move around, then they get ambushed by a second and third. So if they're taking potions, they shouldn't have too much of an issue, but as soon as he moves like this, the question is a fourth one going to attack him? I'd like to see again if there's a wizard that gets attacked. Couple wizards, but they're not really doing anything. Where are you going? Alright, we got a couple of characters just taking a bath in the water, I guess. Enjoying the ocean breeze, yes. Oh, here's a wizard. Frost, you are taking potions, which is good. You're standing there. You're not... Why are you not fighting him? Why are you not fighting him? Buddy. Buddy. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Instant heal. Instant heal. What is he doing? What is he doing? Okay, instant kill. We're gonna kill the kobold. We gotta kill the kobold. I don't know why this guy's just standing here. We just saved his butt. Ross, what were you doing? What were you doing, buddy? Huh? You can't just chill there. You can't just take candles to the face. That's not how this works. Yeah, so the really minor thing I think I'm gonna do is the base health is fine. They're really weak. Wizards more or less can one-shot these guys. I'm gonna change the DPS again. I know I did this last time, but 2 upfront damage is 25% of a wizard's health. We're gonna take the cooldown higher just so they can't just, you know, do this thing where they just bombard players like this guy. Yeah, he's dead when there's 4 of them like that. So I mean, even if there's 4 of them and it's a wizard, 2 damage per shot is gonna be an instant death. Alright, this is the last time I'm doing this. We're gonna take the damage down to 1. I'm going to keep the cooldown where I just set it. Cast time 0.5, 2-second cooldown. That brings the kobold DPS really low, but again, these guys have more of a, not a pack mentality, but it's more of a swarm type of combat. So they're gonna attack. We have to wait a bunch of time before we can see them attack again. Wizard should be able to do a decent amount. Okay. I want this kobold area to be relatively easy, especially with how many kobolds are in it. Yeah, if we can get the player deaths here to be pretty dang low, this should feel like it's not super challenging. What I would like to be challenging is this guy. So the big bad guy here, the boss. because he does have a cluster of guys kind of hanging out around him. So players should have a little bit of an issue when they get the quest from this guy over here. Okay, let's see. Onsen looks like he might have the quest to go take out the big kobold. Let's see what he's actually up to. Okay, he's got one kobold here. He's going to start fighting, get two, so he's getting ambushed a little bit. He's a little bit of a socializer, so he might have a hard time with some of the combat stuff. He's not as good at the game, I don't think. Oh, that guy's fighting it. Of course, he's... Oh, he got it. This guy way over here. This guy way over here beat the big kobold, but then he did definitely die to all the other kobolds. And I just realized I never enabled parties, so I'm going to make sure that's enabled. Also, I can enable PvP duels. Players will be able to challenge each other to PvP duels. Requires PvP technology. Oh, I can't. Okay, so I can't do that yet, but I can definitely do parties, and that wasn't enabled. So now that that's enabled, I don't feel so bad about some of our epic monsters, because if people come over here and they want to fight a bunch of kobolds, they should be okay. Now, I still want it to feel like when they're fighting regular kobolds, they can kind of quest on their own by themselves, but I do want them hopefully grouping up to beat the big guy. Now, I do want to add some components to the edge of town here. I'm going to put another signpost, and I actually shrunk most of the things in town to about 50%, so that they looked scaled a little bit more to our players. They're still kind of goofy big, but that's okay. Slightly goofy big is not as bad as insanely goofy big, which is what they were before. I'm going to add a little wall here on the edge of town. Let's go like that. And then we'll add another one about the same length, just so we get that kind of cool post in the middle. And I'm doing this because I'm going to create like a little private yard for this house right here. So I'm going to let's see, a door there and a door. This has too many doors. Hold on. Let's get rid of that one. That actually gave me a really good window there. Let's add a door here so they do have a back door still. Got a extra window there. That's good. I think that looks pretty good. Now, I want to kind of run this through. Kind of take that to there. We'll do an intermediate one here. Finish it off like so. So there's a little yard here. And then let's just put another one kind of going. Like that. So there's still a little entrance here. This is just a little wealthier, you know, small estate on the edge of town. Oh, I don't want obnoxiously giant flowers. There we go. Yeah, we can just add just some flowers through here. Like so. We'll put a little planter. Yeah, maybe there's a little like vegetable garden they've got going on here. Add a couple of pumpkins. Maybe a slightly unkept side of the yard here. Or maybe this is the herb garden. I don't know. Herb garden sounds good. Oh, I just put that plant on top of the other plant. That's not good. Let's get rid of this guy real quick. There we go. Actually add, can I get a path to, ooh, yeah, I can just barely. Nope, that's not the right spot. We can get a little path. Gonna go like that, and then around the back. There we go. Put another palm tree in the corner here. Still is the coastal town. Couple of rocks, because why not? Alright, got a little shed there now. The garden is kind of come together, a little seating area. I'm trying to think if there's a way. I don't know if it'll let me do more paths. Ideally. Can I start one? Oh, it's going to connect to there. What if can I get, yeah, right there, and then maybe, ooh, that kind of gets in the way of our carrots. There we go, that's better. Now we got a little path going through the garden area. We're gonna put, I think, some more flowers. Make these a little bigger. Oh, 50% is too big. Maybe a little bigger. These are like sunflowers. Yes. Big old giant tall flowers. Perfect. Next to the corn that they're growing for their little crop. Some pumpkins, some prize-winning pumpkins I might add. These things are huge. And some carrots or turnips, whatever those might be. Perfect. And then, yeah, maybe one more little fence just like that. That's good. Oh, that's wonderful. Cute. Oh, let's add one little planter over here still. It's gonna be one of these full squares. Oh, wait, that's where the door is. Don't want that where the door is. Maybe I just put this right there. There we go. Still access the door to the shed. Everything else looks good. Let's maybe just put one of these right there too. Perfect. There's a little bench here, or not a bench, but like a work table station, I think, or gardening, and then a little relaxation bench over here in the corner. Ah, so relaxing. And actually all that gave us the ability to upgrade our game again, because apparently scenery just allows you to spam. And I think I'm going to lean into the socializing, so we'll go +1 to hugs, so we get 2% more on that. Go ahead and release. And we're actually at 416 subscribers, 201 online. Actually, just had a random thought. Is Max and ID's quest still sending people to the graveyard first? It's not, so we actually have to re-add that. Don't call the spiders. This is gonna be... There we go. Not discover beer. Still rule out the dead. Let's get rid of that gold value. Perfect. Okay, so that quest is still there. Can I move it? I can move it up. Good. Perfect. Now it's at the top. First thing you go do. Excellent. Let's try to add a few things over here too, because the other thing actually that I'm definitely probably running into is lack of tavern and inn space. So right now, residents 4. Oh, this goes up to 1,000. Goes up to 1,000. That's not bad. What about the tavern? Tavern just has socializing services, I think. It's tankards of ale. Tankards of ale should be 1 gold, I feel like. There we go. Okay, well, the inn goes up to 1,000, so now I'm not as worried. For some reason, I thought they capped at 100. Maybe that was an old statistic. I do want to start expanding over on this side, so really quickly, let's go ahead and get rid of this thing. And this is mostly just going to be to add some extra buildings, some extra places people can kind of stay on this side of town. Or I shouldn't say this side of town, just this side of this territory, so it's not just the one tavern they can go to save. So there's a civilized inn. We had the coastal one, I think, not elegant. Yeah, we're just gonna go with the kind of the small featured inn here. Okay, the door is on this side. I want it to kind of pass by. Yeah, because what's gonna happen is this road will eventually be the thing that cuts through to the next territory. It'd be nice if there was a little inn here at the edge. So we'll put that there. I'm also gonna add a tavern. I think the civilized tavern is fine. Yeah, that should be good. We'll kind of put these across the street from each other. I'm going to kind of stagger it just a little bit. We'll grab some pathways. Just like that for now. Now here's the question, is this going to transfer or complete some more of the forest this direction, or can it have palm trees, or both? I know, it'll have both. It'll have a little bit of a crossover, so let's add a palm tree here. Maybe, ooh, that's a big tall one. Yeah, let's get a big tall palm tree there. And maybe another one, just tall one right by the inn. There we go. Let's add some of these small walls. I kind of like these. Kind of have this creating an entrance. Not gonna let me do that. There we go, right about there. Creating somewhat of a pathed entrance into town, and then I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna go out this way. Oop, that did not let me do it. Why is that red now? We seem to have broken the game. Okay, just seemed to awkwardly overlap as a bug. Let's go this way, there, and then, yeah, I think that looks cool if that kind of curves around. Then we'll create kind of like a little gap there to there. So that way people can kind of walk around the inn, and then we'll kind of add like a little way to kind of go down to the beach here. This is a resort. That's what this is. Now, do I want any shops? Probably don't need a blacksmith. We can just add a little civilized shop here. Yeah, that would be good. A little temporary setup right here. Add some of our big, large bushes around here. It's a slightly different cart than I feel like I've seen. That'll be our little shopkeeper. That's good. And then let's add a couple of guards. We'll just add some normal town guards. Put one guy kind of here. Let's do another. Let's say there's a little wizard NPC who's the shopkeeper. Another guy over there, so this place is relatively protected. Because obviously it's close to the ruins over here as well. And I actually like the sound of there having formerly been something more permanent over here as well. We'll add to the ruins. And then I actually have some ideas that I want to add to this area to give it some more thematic presence. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of all these barriers, because they're just too big like the other ones were. I'm going to scale them down to, I think 50% was about what I had them at. And we'll kind of create a little bit more Go 3 of them in a row, a little break. That looks a little better. Yeah, I like that. We'll have a couple set up over here too, just because we want to protect this little, not town, but this area that we're gonna have adventurers stopping at. Put up a little bit more, because the guards are trying to make sure that the road is safe, as well as our innkeeper and tavern keeper. Now, I still like the idea of this kind of destroyed ruins. I'm going to add, primarily though, what happened to the trees in the area. So last time I discovered the stumps, and the stumps, well, this gives me some ideas. Now, this tree here, actually, let's do this. You tree, you are too close to kind of what I'm going to call a ground zero effect here. Now, here's the theme of this. This was a ruin already, but it was overgrown by a forest presence. So the trees had come in years and years and years afterwards, centuries even, and had grown up around the ruins themselves. This was a thick part of the forest here. Then we'll add like some of the unharmed trees that are still fine over here. Here's the real kicker. This is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll speed it up, but it's going to look pretty cool, I think. Okay, there we go. Now we got a little bit more of a, you know, kablamo type of scenario here where all the trees get ripped out, tilted over, broken off, and this is now kind of the reason there's a big investigation going on here. Yeah, now we're talking. And then I'm thinking over here. Yeah, we're going to try over here. I'm going to see how. I'll put, let's see, I don't want to build it over here. Let's grab modular building real quick. And then we're going to modulate it. I don't want the little thing on top. No, stop doing that. To kind of create a weird entrance to what used to be possibly something that had to do with this tower in the hillside here. Grab some more of our ruin pieces. There we go. Wonder if I can put anything on top. Oh, yes. Just took a modular building and turned it into a ruin. Pretty snazzy if I say so myself. Now, can I have you... Can you assign a quest that goes over there? Go ahead and press play too, so we have things happening. But don't give anybody a ton of gold. And change the location. Can I assign? Oh, I can. I can assign modular buildings. That's great. Let's do that. And we'll call this Nope. We're going to say investigate the ruins of Ferrard. Ferrard is now an official location in our lore. Yeah, go to modular building. Now, we're going to call this Ruins of Ferrard. Did I spell ruins right with this guy? No, I said runes. I said ruins of Ferrard. Ruins. Get rid of the E. There we go. And then change the order of this. Perfect. Nice. I think I can add more to this. I probably will, now that I understand that I can stack a lot of these pieces and intertwine them. Alright, I'm gonna leave that as it is for the time being. Maybe I'll add more to it if I'm feeling creative and get some energy to do so. I think, though, we're starting to pull together a pretty cool little investigative area here. This is going to be part of our main quest, so we'll see where that leads to. I do feel like I need more of a kind of something thematically to enter this small tavern-y space here, but if I eventually have a road that's going to cut through the mountain range here, that might be enough of a visual at some point. We'll let this sit for the time being. I did want to actually change the way some of my characters... Oh, look, here's a party right here. Party of 4. Yeah, so they're moving as one unit. Party number 29. Members 4 of 4. Total health 61. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's much better for everyone involved. Okay, I wanted to modify the appearance of my fighters real quick. Thinking about ditching the helmet. Changing... Ooh, I kind of like that actually. Yeah, kind of a dwarfy look, but we can keep him the same height as everyone else. He doesn't have to actually be thematically a dwarf. Ooh, that's like a knight helmet. That's cool. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. I did want to look at changing the armor set a little bit. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit more of a leather armor look for these guys. That way there's some contrast between them and the paladins. I think that's appropriate. We'll try that for the time being. I also wanted to add something in terms of mechanics to this thrust ability on the fighter. Yeah, I just wanted to generate rage, so they'll get some right off the bat, because they need the rage in order to perform their shield bash. So if I just say, okay, he attacks, he gets 3 rage right away, plus if they get hit, they're going to have enough to immediately cast a shield bash. But I think I will nerf this to where it costs 6 in order to actually do the shield bash. And with a 2-second stun, I'm going to change this as well. Go 1.5 second stun with, I think, like a 4-second cooldown. Still pretty good DPS, so I'm not worried about him. I'm actually thinking I want to change the strike ability on the wizard, because I would like the wizards to stay out of melee range. So I'm wondering if there's a self-cast ability. And I'm thinking something very simple, but long cooldown, so 60 seconds. They can really only do this once in a fight. Instant cast is fine. And instead of doing damage, I want it to generate mana. So charge mana over time. And it's going to give them... 10 would be basically half of their mana pool. I don't want it that much. Let's say, we'll say 6 mana. That's about 1/3 of the mana pool to start with. And we'll do it so that they get basically 1 mana per second. We'll try that. And then the ability for Spark is their only damage that they'll be able to do. I'm going to change it to, let's go every 3 seconds. And then we're going to change the mana to 6, and that's going to mean that using their other ability should give them another full rotation of using this in combat. So if combat goes long and they're regenerating mana, they'll be able to throw an extra spark in, and then I'm going to make this 5. No, let's keep it 4. Let's see how they do on that side of things first. And we're going to change the name and everything to this too. We'll just call it Focus for now, I think. I could use like a D&D term and do like Arcane Recovery or something classy like that, I guess, but this is fine. So cast. Let's go self-cast. So let's go light. And then just make it like mana colored, kind of a blue. There we go. All right, we'll just say focus your arcane abilities and restoring 6 mana over 6 seconds. That's good. What does that do later on? Yeah, so later on, it's going to give them more and more mana per level, which is perfect. DPS is insanely low now, though. Okay, how about we make this 10.0 mana cost, so it's expensive, but we can make it 6.0 damage, 1.7 DPS, every 3.5 seconds. So every 3.5 seconds, a wizard can do 6 damage. I think that's pretty fair. We'll see how it pans out over time. Now, in theory, when people are in parties, if there's a wizard, the wizard should just stay in the back and just apply, like, you know, they get a little nuke every 6 seconds or so. Did want to play with terrain a little bit too. I do want to kind of add more density forest here. I want to connect these two a little bit. kind of want to add like something over here real quick. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good little modular building. We'll put that there. I'm gonna shrink it. Yeah, we'll just put a little house here. I have some ideas to do like a little dockyard, I think. So we'll add in a dockyard. This might be a little watchtower, just kind of keeping track of the ships and tracking things as they come in and out. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. Maybe just a couple of palm trees. Like so. Yeah, there we go. We'll get into working on our dockyards, I think, in the next episode. So I think this looks pretty good for now. Before we finish up, let's go ahead and do a little upgrade first. We got more things we can add. Let's do fluff. That's just exploration and theming. We'll release that. So our next stage in the game is going. We have 643 subscribers. That's pretty intense. Game rating is nearly 800. That's pretty cool. Level-wise, nobody has gained to level 2, and I wouldn't really expect it. I wonder if there's not really a way to see who's got the most experience, I feel like. Like some of these guys, you know, 500 experience. Just have to kind of find somebody, I think. Maybe we'll check one of these parties. It looks like 2 fighters, paladin, wizard. 1 wizard per party seems to be kind of the standard almost. Let's follow this guy. Oh, can't really zoom in. Let's watch this party actually. Okay, so a party can just go and literally massacre kobolds. So that's cool. Was that all they had to do? Is that all you get? Oh, you guys are just grinding. So they're just grinding for experience. Can't look at individual players though inside the parties. That kind of sucks. You can't see what their experience is like. I want to be able to see just where everyone's experience is so I can know whether or not it's time to start thinking about level 2 abilities. I'm going to go through, I think, first thing next time, and we'll rebalance, not rebalance, but reestablish, kind of formulate where everything's at experience-wise, because I want to make sure that by the end of kind of this main quest segments we're setting up here, we're guaranteeing level 2, and we should be, but I'm going to be adding some more quests in here very shortly with some of the other features, like we just added in our kind of ground zero event over there. We're adding more forest. I'm going to put something in that grove on the other side of the forest there too. I got some ideas there. So we'll keep building onto this. This area is not quite finished yet. I might even consider making this area a level 1 - level 2 area. So we might have both levels occurring within this same zone, depending on how experience flows. So we'll look into that. We'll work on a little dockyard area next time. I'm ultimately really pleased with the work we did over here. Put together some of this ruin, looks pretty cool, I think. So I think this is as good a place as any to go ahead and call the episode. So for the time being, I am Kyle. This has been that one playthrough of MMORPG Tycoon 2, and I will see you guys all next time in our next installment.